Hey, it's Carmine Appice, and I'm on, and you're on, talking about rock.
Okay, today's guest is a living rum legend, known for his work with Vanilla Fudge, Cactus, Beck, Bogart and Appice, and Rod Stewart. He was inducted in the Classic Drummer Hall of Fame in 2013 and the Modern Drummer Hall of Fame in 2014. He has reformed his band Cactus for the blues rock album Temple of the Blues 2. Here to chat with us now, let's welcome Carmine Appice. Carmine, how are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. So great to have you here with us. It's been like 2 years since Cactus first opened the doors to Temple of Blues, and this latest Cactus album, man, is outstanding. A lot of rock heavy hitters on here with you too.
Yep, there's a lot of fun doing it. It's unfortunately Billboard stopped doing the blues charts, so I was expecting to be high on the blues charts with this, but they stopped doing it. Isn't that crazy? So now, I don't know where we are. We might be on the Amazon charts or something.
Right. They'll always go through different charts for streaming, and all the different stuff is always ever changing, as we know. I wanted to take a minute here and kind of go through a couple of the tracks here with you, talk about some of the standout artists you have here. So starting out, obviously, we have Backdoor Man Parts 1 and 2, Eric Gales, Billy Sheehan, sounding fantastic as usual.
Have you seen the video?
Yes.
The video to me this should have been the first video, instead of the other one. But the other one was good too. Introduced me to this guy, Dom Esposito, that does the AI for us. And he made this video with Backdoor Man look like a movie.
Right, it looks like a chase movie, and you're in that cop car chasing them, right?
I told him, I was watching. I go, "Hey, dude, I want to be a cop. Can I be a cop?" He goes, "Yeah." And then I brought all different friends in. The pizza guy is my singer of the Rod Stewart show. I have the guy reading the newspaper is Jorgen Carlson. He used to be for a long time the bass player of Government Mule, And the guy almost got hit in the head with a glass when he's cleaning the bar. That's my co-producer and engineer.
Yeah, I thought it was very, very fun. Yeah, I've been streaming it on our social media services, definitely. And also we'll have the link to that video in our Hall of Videos at talkaboutrock.com so people can check that out. But yeah, a lot of fun. I thought that was really neat when I saw that.
Yeah, it's and the playing on it's great, When we first did the video, I sent it to Billy and I sent to Eric, and they said, "Well, I don't understand the story." And I said, "Neither do I."
It's just fun to watch. You don't have to figure it out, right?
Since then, I worked with the editor. I co-directed with him and made it. So now we know what it's about. The guy gets thrown out the window, and you see him why he was thrown out the window, pretty much. That's it in a nutshell. It's as we titled it, the urban ghost story. Because it's kind of like, what's that one? Scrooge, the one with screws in it.
Right.
It's like that. They take him around to see all the bad things he did. This one is the same thing. This guy's watching him, and he's showing us all the bad things he did. And this is why you got thrown out of the window. You screwed your best friend's wife.
That'll definitely do it.
That'll do it.
Yeah, definitely. Let's talk a little bit some of the other tracks here. Next one I thought was standout kind of here, Moaning at Midnight featuring Pat Travers, just smoking on there for sure.
Yeah, what's funny about that one? The way I record is I put the click on, and then I would talk, and I would talk my voice to it, like that one would be bum, 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 ba bum, ba bum. I would do the whole song like that. I'd do the whole arrangement like that with my voice. And then I put a vocal on it. And on that one, I said, you know what? I got this beautiful 1961 Fender Precision bass. I'm just going to put it on there and see if I could play it. So I did, and I put it on. I actually played the whole song, even the second. There's three sections to that song. There's the bum 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 bum. There's that. Then there's a bum 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 da dum da 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 da. That's the second part, and the third part goes bum ba da da like a boogie.
Right, right.
Three sections. So I played the three sections with the bass. I said, "Wow!" I was proud of myself. And then I played drums. And then I get the guitar player, my Audi Dillon, gave him the track, as we do with all the tracks. Even Backdoor Man, we did it like that too. It was Eddie Terry, my singer, sang it, and we did a demo that we gave to, everybody, like Billy Sheehan and Eric. So same thing with this one, except I put the bass on. So I went to give it to my bass player, James Caputo. I said, "You need to put the bass on." I said, "Why? The bass sounds good." I said, "That's me. I'm not a good bass player." He said,
Right. It was just a space filler, you thought, right?
No, I know. You got to play it. So he played it. And of course, he put cool fills in when they belong and everything. But that's how I do all the tracks, and it makes it really cool because I arrange it. And then when we give it to somebody, we send them, the stems, as they call it.
Right.
And I don't know what I'm going to get back, until that happens,
Yeah, everybody adds their pieces, and it makes it a little bit more than it started out.
This album, there wasn't one guy in the studio together on the whole record.
Right. And that's how things are a lot nowadays. It's so strange, obviously, got to be for you, right? Because that is not the way of things were, right? That's how things are for a long time.
Since I've been living here, I live in Florida. I got a guest house. I made that studio. You can see my drums are there. Those drums just stay there. They never leave that area. They've been there for 5 years. Actually, they need a little dusting. I was noticing today. I'm going to do that in the next few days. Yeah, but I've been recording all my stuff here, and I engineer it. My brother built the actual system for me, and he showed me how to use it. And little by little, I got to know it. Still sometimes screws up, and whenever it does, I call Sweetwater because I bought all my equipment there, and they have a tech department, which is really good.
Right.
And so I've learned to do it. And otherwise, I'd have to call an engineer. Are you available tomorrow night at 3? Are you available at 3 PM or something?
Right.
I don't have to do that.
No.
I walk in, turn it on, and I'm ready to rock.
Yep, definitely a lot easier nowadays. You just don't get that people in the same room type of thing going on anymore. But another track I thought was also very, very cool on here, Token Chicken featuring Bumblefoot. Outstanding track, man. Yeah.
Choking.
Choking.
Yeah. Yeah, that was that's an old Cactus song. I love the lyrics in that. Token, choking, everybody's joking. Your best friends don't care. Run up, blow up. Notice, run up, blow up. I hope your brain don't blow up. Notice that you're losing hair. That's your song.
That's right? My song for sure, for sure. Definitely.
But it's a great song, and I asked Bumblefoot if he'd like to play that. And I said, but I want you to play the fretless guitar, not slide. Because he has a fretless guitar that sounds amazing. So he played rhythm. Well, actually, Audi Dillon played rhythm. He played all the leads, all the filler leads, all the solo leads and everything. And it came out fantastic, That's an old song, in 1971 we wrote that.
Yeah, but it sounds like it's new again. Yeah, another one which I wasn't...
it almost sounds country.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, a little bit. Another one I thought was really stand out, and I wasn't kind of prepared for it, was the Little Red Rooster with Dee Snider on there and Tracy Guns and Jimmy Haslip on there.
Video. Have you seen that video?
That one I haven't had a chance to see yet, no.
Okay. You got to look up both of the videos. And do me a favor, leave some comments.
All right, we'll do that, definitely.
Okay? Because we got a lot of views with not a lot of comments. We got a lot of, likes and stuff, but the comments, I don't know why people are not commenting, but I'm getting great comments. So do me a favor and comment on both of them. They're both AI. Okay.
All right, definitely. So, yeah,
Little Red Rooster were playing. The whole band's playing. Again, I played here in my studio. A curtain goes around the studio and it's all green. I green screen it. Everybody green screens it in their home areas. And, but then we have a storyline about a little red rooster, right? In which D is driving in a 1930s convertible, beautiful old car, right?
right,
There's no storyline there. And when it was finished, I said, "Oh man, now I gotta send this to D to see if he likes himself as an AI person."
right, right. Some people don't like that. They don't want to be doing that. Yeah.
So I gave it to him, and I said, "Let me read what he said." He says, "Fucking amazing." That's the exact words. That's all he said. So I said, "Okay, great," because I was sweating. If
Right,
he didn't like it, I don't know what I would do. You know,
right.
we just showed the band playing the song. We showed the band playing the song, but in between all that, it's like incredible.
Yeah,
So,
definitely, definitely. And then
that's where we got the idea to do this, the new one, because it looks so good. It looked like a movie again. So we said, well, let's do this. And,
yeah,
it's like, I said to the guy, his name is Don Esposito. I said, man, I want to be a cop.
poof. There you go. You're a cop. Poof.
You know?
Right. That's all you got to do.
A lot of fun. I mean, it's just fun. Music is supposed to be fun. None of this bullshit like, well, it's AI. I don't want to look at that. It's AI. Or why does it say American Led Zeppelin? So what? That's what it was given to us in 1970
Right.
by American press. So when we played the gig, we played live, that gig where the live footage is filmed. They put on Cactus, the American Led Zeppelin on the background. I mean, I wasn't going to say, oh, take that off,
Right. Right.
Who cares, We get idiots on the comments that we do get. Some idiots are there.
Yeah, you're gonna always get those. It's not going to be everybody. You can't make everybody happy with what you do.
The video is Carmine's ego, not my ego. It's a video about the song.
Yeah, yeah. You're just trying to tell a story with the song, and like you said, make it a little fun and using some of the tools that we have available nowadays.
My favorite, two of my favorite things. My singer from the Rod show is the pizza guy.
Right.
You didn't see it.
I didn't see that one yet. No, so
he looks a bit like Rod Stewart. He's putting pizza in the oven. It takes place in 1972 in Harlem.
okay.
Did you ever see the movie The Warriors?
Oh, of course. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, well you'll understand it.
All right, very cool. Yeah, folks, definitely check out these videos. They're really, really amazing, really, really fun. And like Carmine was saying, go out there and comment on those. We'll put the link to the other video up on our site as well for you folks out there. But
comment on it. I'd like to know what you thought of it because we spent a month editing this thing.
Right.
And if all the people don't like it, then obviously we won't do it. But mostly everybody loves it now.
Yeah, yeah. I've been playing the clip from the Backdoor Man. You got that clip on the social media platform.
Oh yeah, well, you mean the video clip?
Yeah, the video clip. Yeah,
yeah. That's what the video is. It looks like a movie.
Right, exactly. So yeah, that's definitely fun.
You see the cover?
Yeah, yeah.
It looks like a movie.
It does. Very cool.
Just try to make things fun. Even when I wrote my drum book, I put things in my drum book to make things fun. When I did clinics, I made things fun. If it ain't fun, it's boring. It's very boring if it isn't fun.
Yeah, definitely. And so,
fun album.
Yeah, definitely. And I wanted to talk a little bit about your history here. You bring up the book, but let's go back a little bit. Obviously, start at the beginning with the cover. You Keep Me Hanging On, a Motown song, originally recorded by the Supremes, became a hit single in '68, and since then, Vanilla Fudge has been cited as one of the few American links between psychedelic or stoner rock that would then become heavy metal after that.
Well, because we played really loud and heavy, but we had dynamics, to be one thing, bum bum thing, damn, like an orchestra, damn, and they go, bam, bam, bombastic. Tim puts on the fuzz tone, and all of a sudden it's big, loud stuff. Then it goes down to a vocal, just a lonely vocal. It's just dynamics. And so we were heavy when we needed to be heavy, and we were delicate when we need to be delicate. And with the vocals, we had 4-part harmony. But that's what was going on in Long Island at the time. It was a production up, as they called it. And in other bands was Billy Joel's band, the Hassles. Leslie West had a band called the Vagrants, So that's what was going on. We all started from the Rascals, right? The Rascals, and we got heavier. We had more vocal. I had more, heavier drums, powerful drums, and that's what made us heavy. Me and Tim were like crazy, we were
Right.
crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you look at that video on that Sullivan show, I mean, Tim looks like a lunatic, bouncing around the way he was. I look like an animal on drums, But that's what we did. The first album was basically all our songs that we played live. That we played live on an album. I don't think there's many overdubs, if any, on the album, first album. So we did that. That was great. And then everything started becoming more guitar oriented and less organ,
Right. There was a shift, right, in music. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we had Jeff Beck played with us on a Coca-Cola commercial, which you can still see on YouTube, And when he played with us, we said, "Oh man, he's unbelievable,"
Right.
Tim had in the back of our head, man, let's play with Jeff Beck.
Right. You were thinking about that right then and there, right? What was going to happen next, right?
We played a big gig in the World's Fair, the old World's Fair, side 64. It was a single bowl. It was like, 10,000 people, and it was sold out. And it was like, it was 10 years after Edwin Hawkins sings that "Oh Happy Day" song. It was crazy. It was a weird combination. And 10 years after, then Jeff Beck group, Zeppelin came up and jammed with them. And my drums, Bonzo played my drums. And then we went on and we said, "Oh man, this is like, how do you follow that?"
Right. Exactly.
So then Jeff Beck came up to me and said, "Hey, Bonzo." No, I'm sorry. Bonzo came up to me and said, "Jeff Beck wants to play with you and Tim." He gave us Jeff's number. So he said, "Wow." Took 2 years to do it. Him and Rod Stewart was supposed to be Cactus with us. But he got in a car accident. He was done for like 18 months, and we broke Vanilla Fudge up already. Rod
Right.
didn't want to work with him anyway. So we broke Vanilla Fudge up. So me and Tim said, "What do you want to do now?" So he said, "Well, let's find somebody else." So we found Jim McCarty from Detroit Wheels, and we found Rusty Day from the Ted Nugent Samboy Dukes, and brought them in. And we were Cactus for 2 years. And then Jeff Beck wanted to play with us again,
And then the time was right for Beck Bogart.
The time we went, we didn't want to do big Beck Bogan Appice right away. So we went as a Jeff Beck group featuring the three of us. And then we made the record, and then we came out. So it was like building it, And that lasted a couple of years. And I find most English guitar players are all the same. They're a bit insecure, weird, but they play their asses off, man. Jeff Beck, John Sykes, another one, fantastic.
Yeah. Jeff Beck, obviously known for getting sounds out of his guitar that like no one could without effects. You know what I mean? That was just amazing for that.
Yeah, and that started with the first album, second album, and then we broke up, and we went into jazz rock, which is a couple of tracks on our BB-8 live box set, which is really the bridge from BB-8 to Blow by Blow. And I was on Blow by Blow for 5 or 6 tracks, but we couldn't work out a billing problem because the manager wanted it to be a Jeff Beck group. No, I'm sorry, Jeff Beck, period, not group or band or anything, or featuring. just Jeff Beck. So I had to get off. I got tracks with me on my computer with 5 or 6 tracks of Blow by Blow. One of his big ones, as I
Yep.
call it, goes I
Yep.
Love the Ballad. Yeah, I got a version with me on it. Some other ones that I'm on. But I was really pissed off at that for a while because the album came out to 2 million copies, and I really helped him develop that thing
Right.
because we were buddies. We were in the same band. We used to listen to Mahavishnu and listen to Billy Cobham albums. Me and him drove in a car together, and we get turned on by this stuff. Musicians turning on. No, nothing I started or he started it. We loved it, so we started doing it. And then when I wasn't on it, I got pissed because it sold 2 million albums. But then I realized if I was with Jeff, I wouldn't have joined Rod Stewart. And Rod Stewart, for me, turned my career around.
Right. Right. Two of the biggest hit singles, he had. Do You Think I'm Sexy? Young Turks. That was huge for them.
Playing in the biggest audiences he ever did. The biggest, 5 nights at the Garden, 6 nights at the Forum in Japan, 5, 6 nights at the Budokan. It was so big that I went to Japan. I took, after I left Rod, I took Tom Peterson, Rick Derringer, Eric Carmen, myself, and Dwayne Hitchings, who wrote these songs with me, with Rod. And we played the Budokan, and sold it out, And I had a solo album out at the time on Rod's label. So it's wild. It's really wild. So I had so many highlights in my career,
Right.
and then after that, play with Ted Nugent, because that happened with me and Ted and Rod Stewart. We did I think it was American rock show or something. It was like a big American rock show, or what the hell it was. Anyway, so Rod, we were playing Young Turks, songs like that. And Ted came up and he goes, "Hey, look, when you're done playing this wimpy rock and you want to play a man's rock, give me a call." So when I was gone from Rod, I called Ted, and I went right into Ted's band. We played for a year, did an album, played. It was a lot of fun. And after that, it was like a year later, I joined Ozzy, and that was interesting. I never got to rehearse with him. I had to write down all the charts, because
Right.
it was a visa problem. And I went to Europe. We played 3 months in Europe. It was fantastic. Great band. Me, Bob Daisley, Jakey Lee, Don Airy.
Right.
And then out of the blue, in America, she gave me permission. My manager told her, I'm going to do master classes in every market. And she didn't like it. She didn't like it. I also gave money to UNICEF, the charity. By doing that, I got free press.
Right.
So the one that did it was in Cleveland. I gave me a whole page, a full page in a big newspaper. And they asked me who the effect for the solo was, who thought it up. I said, I didn't. Sharon and Ozzy did. The stairs would open. I come down on the stairs. I'm in the front. Fire goes off up there. So
Right.
So just so happens that night it didn't work.
Right. You were getting too much press.
Yeah, exactly. After a while, she fired me and said, "Your name is too big. You need to start your own band." Okay, so I started King Cobra. All right, and then Ozzy knew that I was his wife, and she said, I know you got problems with my missus. Can I still be friends with you?" I said, "Yeah, Oz, I know it ain't you."
Right. You were originally promised an associate producer credit on Bark
I
the Moon.
got it on the first 500,000 records, but it sold 10 million. I was supposed to get 25 grand every time it went gold. So it went gold many times. I probably lost $500,000 on that.
There's a lot of stories about that management. I'm sure you and your friend Bob Daisley have traded stories many times.
Oh yeah. Well, that's what I said to him. I said, would she, like fuck up the show to try and make me look bad by not letting the stairs go down, open up? He says, "Oh yeah." I mean, what a freaking piece of work, you know?
Yeah, that doesn't really make a lot of
Now
sense.
she's a giant super celebrity.
Yep. Yep. Huge. Definitely. That's kind of how things went. But yeah, a lot of different stories obviously floating around for years for that.
And
From
then
Bob Daisley, Lee Kerslake,
they screwed him out of so much money. It was supposed to be Blizzard of Oz, a band, 25% each. You know, they just used his name in the Blizzard of Oz, you know?
Right.
Everybody was supposed to get 25%. She screwed him out of all that. That's why they tried to sue him, you know?
Right. And then they went and re-recorded and they removed him from the tracks. They re-released it and removed him from the tracks.
Yeah.
And the fans really didn't care for that too much because they put him back.
Yeah.
Yeah, they put him back on like they should have been on. Yeah.
Terrible.
Yeah, crazy stuff.
That was good. I had a great year that year. I was a spokesperson for Sonic drums, which are little portable drums. Me and Buddy Rich. So that was good, you know. And then, you know, I went on to do King Cobra, and then we did Blue Murder, which one of my favorites. That didn't happen for some reason. That was amazing. I went after that band. I went to England with my brother when they were playing with Dio at the 4 nights at the Odeon. And I was like, I'm going to go there and find out how to get a hold of John Sykes. And I did. I did, and ended up in the band, and I loved that band. I loved Tony. I loved John as a player, and I didn't know he could sing that good, you know? And
yeah, definitely some great stuff from them. Definitely. You've had such an illustrious career, obviously. A couple of quick points I wanted to touch on, and then we'll move along. Obviously, you played also Take Me Away Together as One on Paul Stanley's solo album in 78. Mm-hmm. Which I wasn't aware of, so I had to check that out. And then you provided backing vocals on the Dio Hearing Aid project Stars in 86.
Right.
Which was very interesting to see as well.
I did a lot of crazy stuff. The Paul one was interesting because I was doing a lot of clinics then. And I had 3 in a row, I think, and then I had a day off and 3 in a row. So the first clinic is, what did you play on Take Me Away at the end? I don't know what I played. I just play.
Right. You just played to the song.
I just play. There's a lot of fills, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Next day, what did you play on Take Me Away again? So I don't really know because I just play whatever comes out, you know. I said, it's probably some sort of fills like this, but I don't really know. And the third day, the same thing. Finally, I had a day off. I went to a record store and I bought the cassette. I listened to it on my Walkman. I said, oh, that's what I did. Sure enough, the next 3 clinics, every one of them asked me about that song.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and like we were saying, the other amazing thing there was the backing vocals for Hearing Aid, you know.
Yeah, but Hearing Aid was just everybody saying it, you know.
Yeah.
It was like they were trying to do We Are the World with heavy metal guys.
In the metal version, yeah, because they were kind of upset that they were excluded from that. But that was a great track, I thought, definitely with all that going on.
Say again, who was?
They felt kind of excluded, you know, from everything else.
Who?
The folks in heavy metal felt excluded from the We Are the World stuff. They definitely felt that with that track.
Wasn't why.
What's that?
That wasn't why.
No?
No. Ronnie wanted to do one for metal, but I don't really consider metal, you know, until Metallica came out. You know, all that buzzsaw guitar, that's metal. Everything else before that was hard rock, heavy hard rock, you know. Mm-hmm. But Ronnie wanted to do it for all those, you know, in that genre, which, you know, he thought it'd be a good idea to do it because it wasn't the fact that we didn't get invited to the other thing. We didn't really want to get invited to the other thing, you know?
Okay.
What? Wasp and Celine Dion?
Right, yeah.
You know?
Right.
Sabbath and Celine Dion, you know, it just doesn't work. But it was a good idea, and they did, and they pulled it off. Him and Wendy pulled it off, and became a cool PR thing, and it was an album that did well. How could you not do well? It's like my albums. The first Temple of Blues, you see the opening up, the cover. It looks like hearing aid, you know?
Yep, definitely.
Everybody that played on it, put on the cover. It looks like Sergeant Pepper also, But, in those days, when you did all that, you couldn't help but have a hit record. Today, forget about it, you know?
Yeah.
No heavy metal band gets hit records anymore.
No, nowadays the things have definitely changed.
Yeah.
So let's get back to Cactus here a little bit, finish up the history with that. So the band, like you were saying before, the band originally formed in 2006, 3 decades after the tragic death of Rusty Day, with Randy Pratt on harp and Jimmy Coons on vocals. And then, like you were saying, Tim Bogart was forced into retirement,
Yeah.
after the motorcycle accident.
Yeah.
You got Pete Bremy originally on bass. Jimmy Caputo replaced him in 2020. And then you have Artie Dillon on guitar also, which is great.
Yeah. Yeah, I replaced the whole band, except for Jimmy. I replaced the guitarist who kept having problems with the guitarist. You had Teddy Rondinelli, who was a great player, but he never listened to the songs. He just always playing, overplaying, great player. And then we had, what was his name? Paul Warren, who played with Rod Stewart. Loved Cactus. He did one album with us and then disappeared. We never
Right.
we didn't know where he is. So then Artie, Artie played with me in I had a slam show. Slam was like a stomp, all garbage cans and 5 drummers and him, and we did like hanging on with just, ironing boards, and it was crazy stuff. I've always done crazy stuff. I never do normal stuff. So Artie came in to replace a keyboard player I had, and then he said, "Well, I'm not really great at keyboard. I'm great, much better on guitar." So I heard him play guitar. I said, "You're in on guitar." So, I've used him, like he played on me and my brother's solo album, Sinister. He played on that, and we did some touring with me and Artie and Jimmy and my brother and the singer Jimmy Coons. I'm sorry, James Green. So I said, "You know what? I need a guitar player," and we didn't do anything with Cactus. And then I heard rumors that Jimmy Coons were putting me down for something. I'm pretty fair. I'm an easygoing guy. I'm pretty fair with everybody. And so I said, "Well, I'm not going to use him no more."
Right.
So I got this English guy named Jimmy was his last name. I forgot his last name. He lasted an album and a bunch of tours. He was really good, but then he started working with this young singer. He was a younger guy. He started working with a young singer who now plays a 5,000 seaters. So he's doing great. I said, "Good." So now I said, "You know what? I'm just going to use Artie. Artie's loyal, dependable, and he's a great player."
And they're also playing with your brother in Sabbath Night shows as well.
Say again? Well,
They're also playing with your brother in the Sabbath Night shows.
No, it wasn't called that. It was called Drum Wars.
Oh, I know, but now I'm saying nowadays it's he's doing the Sabbath Nights thing.
He's doing the Sabbath Night. He's using the same guy, Artie and Jimmy and the singer. Good for him. Like I'm doing the Rod thing, he's doing the Sabbath Night thing. Because for me, I love playing the Rod stuff because I never get to play it anymore. I got to play Vanilla Fudge. I got to play, Cactus stuff. I got to play even King Cobra stuff, with new bands, new King Cobra albums and stuff. But I never got to play these big hits that I wrote with Rod and not even wrote. I was helped produce and in the studio with Rod doing vocals, So I tried to do that in 2014, and we went to China with it. It was good, and I had Jimmy Crespo on. I had Phil Chen on bass. Then I switched to Kenny Aronson on bass, and Danny Johnson on guitar, and Alan, who played with Billy Squier on keyboard. And it was an all-star band. And we went to China. We did a bunch of other shows, and it was good. And then it got to the point where nobody knew how to book it. So again, moved on. Then I started getting into more like Vanilla Fudge, Cactus, that kind of stuff,
Right.
In the 90s, I had to go to Japan because all the grunge thing killed us.
Right. It just stopped it all completely, definitely.
I spent the whole 90s in Japan. ended up with a Chad Bogart Appice show. He was the Jeff Beck of Japan, a great player. We did one night at the Budokan, sold out in Tokyo, and we did another. I think it was another one with 4 nights at 800 seaters, sold out. Altogether, we did 12,000 people. So that was my last shows in Japan, with that. And then I think 2012 we went there with Cactus, and we did 2,000 people with Cactus. And now I don't travel like around the world anymore because for health reasons,
Right.
I almost died in the Canary Islands. I was with my brother, thank God. I made it back, and I had nosebleeds that were really unbelievable. I packed my nose with gauze, and by the time I got home, it was in 24 more hours I would have been dead. It was all sepsis.
Oh my God. Yeah.
So I said, you know what? I'm not going to do those long flights anymore. So since 2018, I haven't done anything like that anymore. So I just stay in America, and that's about it.
Yeah. And let's just talk about your shows and finish up here. You got coming up. So obviously you got the Carmine Appice Diaries coming up at the Different Drum Shop, Surfside, South Carolina. That's coming up. Also, your master classes in August 19th to 26th coming up there as well.
Oh, you mean in Minneapolis?
From the website, I have the master classes August 19th to the 26th at the Different Drum Shop, Surfside, South Carolina.
That's wrong. It's 19th to 20th. He made a mistake.
Okay.
That's what I was supposed to go to one in Minnesota, but we just canceled that. This guy don't know what he's doing.
Okay. So folks, definitely check out the dates on Carmine's site.
August 22nd, we're in with the Rod Show, right?
Yeah.
We got the Vanilla Fudge dates as well.
Yeah. And you got some personal appearances coming up in September at the Gene Simmons Legends of Rock Expo, Westgate Resort, Las Vegas. That sounds very cool.
The coolest thing of all of it is me playing October 1st and 2nd with the Colorado Springs Symphony Orchestra. Just me. No band.
That sounds amazing. Definitely.
And we're going to do 4 Rod Stewart songs, which I'm going to tell some stories as well. But that is really, really good.
Excellent.
And
Excellent.
we're working on new Rod Stewart and new Vanilla Fudge shows right now.
Very, very cool. All right, so folks, the latest album, Temple of Blues 2, is out now. You can pick that up and check out all the upcoming shows and dates at CarmineAppice.net.
Check out the videos.
Yeah, check out and comment on the videos, definitely.
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah, especially Backdoor Man. And give me some comments.
All right, sounds good.
And you too.
Definitely do that. All right, so that wraps things up. Thanks to my guest today, the legendary Carmine Appice, and to our audience. We hope you're doing your part by keeping the torch alive and supporting live music wherever you are. Carmine, again, thank you.
That's my drum solo for tonight.